Oh boy, we've told you they've lost. They've been out of touch. They've run their own people out the party. And oh boy, you just can't make this up. This has broken the internet. This tweet right here. Let's read it out loud. I'm a lifelong straight party ticket Democrat. And after watching this hearing today, I can never vote for any of them ever again. I'm appalled and disgusted by what this party has become. Oh boy, doesn't that sound familiar? From a lot of people. Let's jump straight in.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Yeah, boy, what an eventful day it has been, you guys. We are on a mission. Make America healthy again. Simple, man. And it looks like RFK Jr. is to be confirmed. But what a confirmation hearing it was today. A lot of you guys have sent me this video to react to. We're going to jump straight in. But boy, people are talking about Pocahontas. I mean, oh man, it was crazy, man. Bernie. I mean, some of these individuals ought to be walked out of there with handcuffs. You know, some of these senators are an absolute disgrace. And y'all know we sat through that entire hearing. We even did our own video on it in our previous video, if you want to go check it out. And boy, we got a big one with this one. Lifelong Democrats, again, abandoning the ship, leaving the party. Done. They will never vote for a Democrat ever again. And we've been calling this out for how long, you guys? So long. And you see how many spoke out and how many people got off the ship this past election, these past campaigns. People are done with the Democratic Party, man. So I couldn't wait to get on here and record. I couldn't wait, man. But Professor Ned's got a banger with this one. And as we read in the beginning of the intro, a lot of people felt that tweet. A lot of people, man. And if you've seen that hearing, it was a disgrace, man. So huge shout out to RFK Jr., man. And look like he is to be confirmed. Let's go and jump into this, you guys. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And shout out to Professor Nez and Nez Nation. A lot of Nez Nation watch this channel. Professor Nez watches my channel and loves my channel and even stops by in the comments every now and then and shows love. So huge shout out to my dear friend, Professor Nez. Make sure y'all go check him out. An amazing guy, man. Bless him and his family. And also has amazing merch. Shows my support to him as well with the merch and stuff. So definitely can't wait till it comes in. But oh boy, let's jump in, family.
Want to, for that matter. I sat through the entire 4 or 5 hour debacle, and it was pretty heated, to say the least.
It was.
Especially the kind of treatment that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got from his own party. It was so bad that lifelong Democrats are saying they've had enough. This one post going viral on X from lifelong Democrat Toby Rogers, who says, I'm a lifelong straight party ticket Democrat, and after watching this hearing today, I can never vote for any of them ever again. I'm
everybody out of there
and disgusted
by
what this party has become.
We told y'all they walk out. No matter what time it is, during the day, afternoon, people say, Rick, why do you always say that? Because it's true. Those Democrats are running people out of there, man. They've gone too far left, too woke. Too woke. Too many lies. Misinformation. DEI. A lot of didn't earn it. A lot of people that ought to put their hands behind their back. In my opinion.
Yeah, I wonder whatever gave him that impression.
You're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet the organization is making money selling a child's product.
I really honestly have a
bunch of filthy politicians. Filthy. I say filthy.
sincere question that I want you to answer for me after I show you these heated clips. So let's jump right into it, but stick around because I've got something. You're going to want to stick around for this and maybe pose the same exact question to them. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Here is one of the most contentious encounters with Senator Elizabeth Warren. I call her the ultra Karen of all time. I can't believe this woman was elected, but then again, it's Massachusetts. What's wrong with you, Massachusetts? I'm so confused by you guys. I don't know. I can't really talk because I'm from California, and everybody here in California is a complete lunkhead. So check this out. This is a real heated moment right here between Pocahontas and RFK.
Financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
No. Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule.
Doesn't this remind you of something?
Yeah.
Everything that they tried to do with Trump, everything that they tried to do with Hegseth, everything that they tried to do with pretty much anybody who wants to help save America, they do the same thing. They just perpetuate this coordinated lie attack that has no substance, no weight, no verification, no backup, and no evidence to support it. He even said, like literally on the record to her face in front of a national television audience, international for that matter, I believe in vaccines. I'm not against vaccines. I'm not against the class. And she goes, oh yeah, sure. Here's a perfect example of the Hippocrats just basically doing the same thing that they did that handed them the gigantic L during the 2024 election cycle. Here's Senator.
Again, like we've been saying, y'all, this is the main reason they lost. And they will continue to lose. And why people will never vote for a Democrat ever again.
Raphael Warnock, who I just think is one of the dumbest dudes to ever be in Congress. And just a quick FYI, this guy tried to run over his ex-wife with a car. Watch what RFK Jr. does here.
Let's talk about
with Senator Dum Warnock. Check this out.
I need to know, do you stand by those statements that you made in the past, or do you retract those previous statements?
Senator, I don't believe that I ever compared the CDC to Nazi death camps. I support the CDC. My job is not to dismantle or harm the CDC. My job is to empower the scientists if I'm privileged to be confirmed.
So you retract those statements?
I'm not retracting it. I never said it.
Well, actually, I have a transcript
of me saying that it's a Nazi death camp.
Yeah, let me read your words. It says that the institution CDC and the vaccine program, is your description of their work, is more important than the children that it's supposed to protect. And you know, it's the same reason we had a pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church. It's because people were able to convince themselves that the institution of the church was more important than these little boys and girls who were being raped. This is like Nazi death camp. I mean, let me finish. I'm just reading your words. I mean, what happened to these kids? 1 in 31 boys in this country, their minds are being robbed from them.
Yeah, I was not comparing the CDC to Nazi death camp.
You see how they twist? And this is why they lost, man. You know, this is why they lost. How they twist, how they mislead people. Just completely false claims, fake news.
Camps. I was comparing the injury rate to our children to other atrocities. And I wouldn't compare, of course, the CDC to Nazi death camps to the extent that any statement that I made has been interpreted that way. Yeah, I don't agree with that.
So you see what they did right there? So it's the same exact thing that Jim Acosta did, which is thank God he's gone. It's the same thing that MSNBC, it's the same thing that the entire media apparatus, it's the same exact thing that Obama and that lazy Charlottesville lie that he propagated, he took it completely out of context. Why don't you concentrate more on the road and less on things that you don't understand? The adults are taking over. Go back to the kiddie table. Thank you. Okay, this next clip really hits home with me as somebody who has not only lived through, but has studied and researched anxiety and depression for over 35 years. I have a lot to say about this. I feel, and I've actually had doctors tell me this, I know more about this than most doctors do. Again, I'm not a doctor, just full disclosure, but listen to this travesty, Mrs. Smith, try to grill RFK Jr. on SSRIs. Check this out.
Kennedy, do you think that people who take antidepressants are dangerous?
I think, listen, I'm not going into HHS if I'm privileged to be confirmed with any.
So you can't say that people
to impose any preconceived ideas that I may have. I just want to have good science.
So you're not saying that they aren't dangerous, which means that they could be dangerous. Let me ask you this.
That's not true.
You've described Americans who take mental health medications as addicts who need to be sent to wellness farms to recover. Is that what you believe?
No, of course I didn't say that anybody should be compelled to do anything.
No, but you said they should be sent.
I said they should be available to them. I didn't say they should be sent.
You said that folks that take antidepressants are like addicts. That I can provide that,
I think they should have the availability. Listen, I know people, including members of my family, who've had a much worse time getting off of SSRIs than people have getting off of heroin. It's the withdrawal period is, I mean, and it's written on the label.
I have some experience with this myself, Mr. Kennedy. This is personal for me. When I was a young woman and I was struggling with depression, thankfully, I had the resources to help me get through it, including a new generation of SSRI uptake inhibitors, which helped to clear my mind, get me back on track to being a mom and a wife and a productive, happy person. And I'm really grateful for that therapy. So I have some experience with this, and I think that everyone should have access to that care. And your job as secretary is to expand access to care, not to spread lies and misinformation. And you know, the things that you say, Mr. Kennedy, they live on. They have impact. And you know, we're having this conversation at the same moment that my Republican colleagues are looking to try to figure out how to save money any way they can. And so they want to cut Medicaid. Let's just think about this for a minute, because you're going to be, should you be confirmed, you would be responsible for CMS, which provides mental and behavioral health care to millions of Americans. Close to 40% of folks on Medicaid have a behavioral health condition. And you would be part of this administration that would be looking to cut Medicaid. So, Mr. Kennedy, these statements that you've made linking antidepressants to school shootings, they reinforce the stigma that people who experience mental health every day face every single day. And I'm very concerned that this is another example of your record of sharing false and misleading information that actually really hurts people.
Senator, you're mischaracterizing my statements.
I am only putting into the record what you have said, Mr. Kennedy.
You're mischaracterizing my statements, and I'm happy that you had a good experience on SSRIs. Many Americans have very good experience on it. Others have not.
That would be an issue between them and their physicians, and not for the future head of HHS to be putting out misinformation about the dangers of SSRIs and other antidepressant medication, spreading the stigma and the fear that we're actually trying to overcome.
Do you think physicians, when they make that prescription, ought to have access to good science?
Of course they do. And
that's all I believe too. Then you and I are in agreement, Senator.
So I have a lot to say about SSRIs. I think I agree. If RFK Jr., I don't think he said that, I think they're absolutely dangerous. I have a very strong stance on this. I know most people have said, oh, it works great on me. Even this cretin here has said it's enabled me to be a productive mom and yada, yada, yada.
Cretin.
I don't doubt that there's chemical imbalances. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I have gone through this for 35 years, anxiety and depression. I took Wellbutrin, which actually made me feel so bad that I felt like I needed to rip my own skin off, as well as all the other ones, Zoloft, you name it. I'm not saying that they don't work for everybody, but there's so many other methodologies. There's so many other resolutions. There's so many other solutions out there that I truly believe chemicals in your brain sponsored by Big Pharma should be the absolute last resort. And there is no question about it that it's not. It's usually a first option. And again, firsthand experience. Quick story. When I was 18, when I was first kind of experiencing, hyper anxiety and depression, I pretended that I had a flu because I was, so embarrassed, my primary care doctor. So I went in there because I didn't want the nurses, I didn't want the staff. So I said I was sick, I had the flu. When I got into the doctor's office with my then primary care doctor, this was like 40 years ago, I told her the truth. I said, I don't have the flu. I've got this crazy, thing in my head and yada, yada, yada. I feel depressed. I feel anxiety. She didn't ask me, let me hear about it. She didn't ask me, hey, let's talk about this. She didn't say, hey, do you want to talk to anybody? She literally went to some mysterious cabinet and started pulling out all of these samples from some of the companies that I mentioned earlier. And I, being a dummy 18-year-old, I was thinking, well, these are the people in the white coats. These are the people you're supposed to trust, right? I took them, and that's when I literally felt, not only did I feel 100 times worse, but I literally felt like ripping my own skin off. Now, again, does it work for a lot of people? Of course. Does it work for people? Of course. Should it be prescribed? Of course. But there wasn't even a talk about it. There wasn't even a discussion about it.
And I love hearing stories like this from my dear friend, man. And again, we've all been through stuff, and a lot of people say this and that on this. A lot of it worked for you. It worked for her. It worked for him. Everybody's situation is different, man. Boy.
I think what RFK Jr. is saying is, hey, these doctors should at least be aware that there's other methodologies.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral therapy has done wonders for me. Mindfulness, exposure therapy has done wonders for me. So I have a lot to say about this. And so I, again, feel like RFK Jr. has America's best interest top of mind. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, this, I think, is an absolute mic drop moment. I wanted to just share this.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this one in our previous video.
With you. I mean, he got absolutely berated and he got treated like absolute pond scum the entire time by the Hippocrats. But I think this is just a really powerful moment to really understand, at least it made me understand quite clearly where RFK Jr. is coming from when it comes to health and science. Check this out.
Yeah, my approach, as I said before, Senator, is radical transparency. Democrats and Republicans ought to be able to come in and get information that was generated at taxpayer expense, that is owned by the American taxpayer. They shouldn't get redacted documents. Public health agencies should be transparent. And if we want Americans to restore trust in the public health agencies, we need transparency. I want to say something about what you first said. When I launched my campaign, it was about uniting Americans, Democrats and Republicans. There's no issue that should unite us more than this chronic health epidemic. There's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children.
I agree.
These are our kids. 66% of them are damaged.
Amen.
I know what a healthy kid looks like because I had so many of them in my family. I didn't know anybody with a food allergy growing up, peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my kids have allergies? Why are we seeing these explosions in diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, neurological diseases, depression, all of these things that are related to toxics in the environment? Why can't we just agree with each other to put differences about so many issues, intractable issues aside, and say, we're going to end this. I don't think anybody is going to be able to do this like I have because of my peculiar experience, because I've litigated against these agencies. When you litigate against them, you get a PhD in corporate capture and how to unravel it. I've written 6 books about these agencies. I know a lot about them and I know how to fix it. And there's nobody who will fix it the way that I do because I'm not scared of vested interests. I don't care. I'm not here because I want a position or a job. I have a very good life and a happy family. This is something I don't need. I want to do this because we're going to fix it. And the other thing is we are attracting now a caliber of people to HHS like never before in history. And they're entrepreneurs, they're disruptors, they're innovators of immense talent that are walking away, many of them from growing concerns. They're not coming there for position. They're coming there because they want to save our country. And they're from across the political spectrum. And all these Democrats are opposed to me for partisan issues. They used to be my friends. Agreed with me on all the environmental issues that I've been working on for my whole career. Now they're against me.
There's no such thing as Democratic or Republican children. They're our kids.
Amen.
Radical transparency. Sounds a lot like Trump, doesn't it? Here's the thought that I have on this, and it's a pretty dark one, actually. Interesting that he mentioned disruptors and entrepreneurs. I can't think of anybody more, maybe Trump, Elon Musk are the only 2 people I can think of who are more disruptive to their respective vertical or industry than RFK Jr. is to the healthcare industry. If you compare to what we have now to RFK Jr., we're taking health advice from these transgender, morbidly obese, obvious vested interest, corporate sponsors, pharma-sponsored individuals, versus Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who actually, I think, deep-seatedly cares. He gives a damn. My dark thought is this. I'm concerned for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You know, Trump had 2 assassination attempts on him, maybe 3. It may not be over, by the way.
This is why I tell you guys, prayers for Trump, his cabinet, his family. In the comments, I tell you guys, man, we I know we sound like, you know, but it's real out here, man. And the type of timing that these people are on, y'all. The type of timing that the movement that they are on, you know, and I've talked to some higher ups, some big time creators, some big time people, you know, even in the administration, like, man, it's you know, this is why I just say prayers, man. Because again, we do not know what to expect next.
You look at the history, the dark history of the Kennedys. You look at the fact that, you know, 75% of his family has disowned him. You look at the fact that he really can't be bought off. And he aims to jeopardize a bunch of really powerful people, a bunch of, I mean, we're talking a lot of money. And these are powerful people who they don't want to see that well dry up. So I'm very, very concerned. I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Godspeed, RFK Jr. Godspeed, Mr. Kennedy. I hope you make it through. I trust my president. We are back.
We are so back.
Why the mandate happened on November 5th. And I truly, truly hope that we do have a chronic health epidemic in our country. European nations don't even, they look at us and they laugh at the things that we allow our kids to eat.
Stock.
I really hope to God that RFK Jr. is not only confirmed, but I hope he's protected.
Amen. Huge shout out to my brother, man. What an amazing video. Thank y'all for sending this over to me. He always keeps it real. And again, he loves our channel. He always shows love on our channel. Huge shout out to the Nez Nation, man. But again, prayers for Trump, his cabinet, you know, his family. You know, it's real dark, you know. It's really dark. And the movement that they're on, you know, we don't know what to expect next, man. But we spoke loud and clear, man. And we are ready for a huge change, man. Not just for us, but for our kids. The next generation, you know. So I love y'all. Again, I really do appreciate y'all for sending this over to me. I mean, people blowed me up saying, Rick, check this out, check this out. But we did do a full video on this hearing after it was done. So if you missed that video, go check that one out as well. But God bless you all and your families. And I will catch you beautiful people in the next one. Peace and love, y'all.